Hey guys, welcome to Spilling the Reality with Trisha and Kylie as we give live updates on the live feeds on Big Brother. I'm sure you all have missed that while I was out, right? Kylie, did you continue the tradition of
No, not in that fashion. I did
that's
not.
that's so sad. Well,
So
anyways,
lame.
I'm back, guys, and so glad to be back. Had a few days off from doing all things Big Brother because it was my son's birthday. So, spent a lot of time with family. But thanks, Kylie, and our special guests, Lauren and Laren, who joined us and
And
did great.
Cam,
And Cam, while I was away. So glad to have special guests while I was out. Y'all did a great job. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about everything going on the feeds, what happened on last night's episode, who's going home this week, what's happening with Veto because that ceremony will happen today. Um, and so if you are watching with us live, be sure to drop us a comment as we go through the episode, and we'll be sure to touch on those. If we don't touch on them as we move through the topics, we will have a whole segment at the end of the show where we will talk about your comments. So Kylie, you want to talk about the episode?
yeah. So let's talk about it. We got to see this. First of all, we were talking about this a little bit off air. What is this twist with Dr. Will? Because I'm confused as to where Dr. Will was last night.
Yeah. Julie really hyped this up. Got a legendary, noisy neighbor moving in next door. Um,
Wh- Where was he?
legendary, yes. Noisy, no.
Not this
Moving in
time.
next door,
Maybe.
maybe. Not real sure. Very confused by this.
Yeah. So like I just expected him to be at the HOH comp and
Like distracting them, throwing
distracting
balls at
them.
them,
Yeah, something. Just
mowing his lawn.
talking to them and like, hey, you should really go for the money, like you suck, that's what I would do, I'd go for the money, or just anything.
You should
But
throw this. You don't need the win this week.
right, but no, no Dr. Will. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, is he going to be like the voice of OTEV on Wednesday?
But he didn't even need to be at the house to do that. So I don't know. I'm so confused. Like I was really excited for the Thursday episode, or the Sunday episode when we would see this, and
He
mm,
wasn't there.
yeah, he was hardly present. So we were very confused by the Dr. Will twist and what twist he actually gave to the house. It's just very
Right.
confusing.
Right, because I feel like without Dr. Will, we've basically seen this before where they had the option to go for money or go for a prize. Like, this isn't new. So,
Dr. Will was hardly there, Dawn. Like he made like a cameo.
I mean, they didn't show anything new, right? They just showed him in the recap
Hmm.
of like, hey,
Here I am.
here I
I'm next
am,
door.
in his bathrobe and his coffee mug, looking like he could be on Spilling the Reality, but nothing new from Dr. Will.
Yeah. It was just it was very confusing. CBS really hyped this up and we didn't get very much. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was lame. Thanks, CBS. Boring.
So, anyways, we do get the HOH competition, and it is the
Which again took up half of the freaking episode.
yeah, half of the episode, and they get three balls, and they get to decide where they want to go. Do they want to go for the money? Do they want to go for HOH? Do they want to split it and do one or the other? We only see four people go for the money, which surprised me a little bit because I figured more people would. And we get Tyler, Danny, Enzo, and who was the fourth one?
Did Memphis throw one over there?
No, I think Memphis just hit all three balls off. Like,
Like
nope,
he was
not
like,
doing
I'm
this.
not winning this. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I can't remember who the fourth one was that went for the money, but Tyler and Danny sunk like a three.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been good at this game. I have 0 hand-eye coordination, so I would have Memphis, like, tried to get his all off. That would have been me on accident. Like, I would have been really trying with all my
Yeah.
might and still lost, so but I don't like these kind of comps. Like, I like I like them for a veto or not even a veto. I like them for, like, maybe prizes only. I don't know. Like the Outback Steakhouse dinner. I don't know. Like, I do not like them, especially at this a pivotal point in the game. Like, this is gonna be the first HOH of 3 this week.
Yeah.
I don't like that CBS did this. I wish it would have been, a comp where they had to really work and prove that they want to be here type
Yeah.
of comp instead.
Yeah. So it
We're
is
with
what it
you,
is.
Cam, on this comment. What's with the dislike if you don't like the stream, just leave. With you, Cam, like every day. So we'll end our show and like we'll have like 3 dislikes already. And we're like, what? Like our show, we just stopped airing. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Trolls.
Trolls,
Yeah, John,
forget y'all.
trolls.
Yeah. So anyways, let's just move on from
So the
that.
HOH comp, I give
Yeah,
it a thumbs
so
down.
I mean,
Meh.
I kind of liked it at least instead of it just being like one shot, they at least got three. But let's talk about Kevin's decision to reshoot when he scored a five. Because we obviously didn't know what Cody scored to win. But when he shot a five, I was like, no, Kevin. Like, I really thought that that was it, that he screwed himself. He would have been HOH. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that for his own sanity, when he goes back and looks at it, he made the right decision because the five would not have won. But when he took his five off and then did not score, I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, no, Kev. Like he was like, having the DRs, and he's like, do I go for it again, or what? I'm
Like,
like screaming at my
no.
TV, don't do it, Kevin. Don't do it. Just let that be.
Yeah,
And of course, we got the suspenseful edit because Cody hadn't gone yet, so
yeah,
like we didn't know.
yeah,
So I was screaming at my TV.
yeah.
And
I
this might have
did,
been the only comp that I guess Kevin, he did have a chance. He
yeah,
did have a chance at this comp.
yeah. So, I personally like Danny's approach to this, where she's like, I'm gonna go for the money because I don't want to win HOH, which I mean, y'all, she kind of does need to win HOH because she's just right there on the border of going out with right behind Kevin and David. So, and maybe even before David. But anyways, she decides to go for the money. She gets that great shot, and she's like, "Okay, well, let me just shoot one ball on the HOH side so I can say that I tried." And she whacks it, and she's like, "Oh well, didn't care anyways." Like, that's so funny.
I wish we need to get that clip and that way we could just play it
Yeah.
like on our show
Oh
regularly
well,
because
didn't
oh
care
well,
anyways.
didn't care anyways.
Yeah.
Guys, uh, before we get into the feeds, I guess I would like to say that I was reading over the feeds and catching up on things, and we were putting our notes together this morning, and I was like, "Damn, the same things are happening as when I was out. I did the show on Thursday. That was the last show I did, and the same. So that was before the eviction, right? So it's like David
Yeah.
and Devin on the block, and da da da, and here we are again. Same
Yeah.
thing. Like it's literally no different. Like Kevin's
One day to the
campaigning.
next.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister is a very casual viewer, and she's like, I'm, several episodes behind, and she was like, the season's just so boring. And she said, let me guess, somebody from the committee won HOH. I was like, yeah, Cody. And she's like, let me guess, he nominated Kevin and David. I was like, yeah, good job. She's like, and let me guess, someone from the committee won the veto. I was like, yeah, Cody. He got both. She's like, I mean, I don't even have to watch to know what's happening. So
It's just so predictable and so it is so boring.
yeah,
Um,
so boring.
so and
We're
I feel
ready
like
for Thursday, y'all. We're
we're
gonna
all
just
waiting for Thursday. Um, Speaking of Thursday, we have a comment here from Cowboys fan 88. Cowboys won this week. They won
whoop
last night.
whoop.
So go Cowboys. How will the triple eviction work? Will it be like Big Brother Canada, or will the vote? Will they? Will will it be vote out HOH noms POV vote out and then da da da. Da. So
Yeah.
like will it literally be 3 people going home? So what happened on Big Brother Canada was there was what one HOH and
And they
3 people
nominate
were
3 people.
voted. Yeah. And I do not we lost this week? Oh, we did lose against the Seahawks. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Um
Right at the last
sorry.
minute.
Ugh, that was
I
tough.
swear that I knew that too.
Yeah, I actually knew that too, and I don't know, I was really being optimistic, I guess.
And
Um,
my LSU Tigers lost, y'all. It's really heartbreaking.
yeah, against Mississippi State. That is tough. It was a tough game.
It was
It
a
was
tough
like,
game. It's going to be a really tough season. And it's
yeah,
really tough because all they do is compare us to last year. And I'm like, bitches, we are
can
not
you
the same
stop?
team as
We
last
don't
year. Like
we don't got
we
Joe
literally we
Burrow.
literally have 3 of the same starters. So, okay. But anyways,
Anyway, this
away from
isn't a
football.
football show. Okay, so how will it be? So the HOA, the Canada, BB Canada, triple eviction was 3 people were nominated, and I do not in
And they
America.
vote
I
to
do
keep
not.
one.
Yeah, I do not consider this a triple eviction. That's scam.
We want all 3 things to happen
Yeah.
3 times.
We are
So,
used to a double eviction being, double what we normally get. Triple eviction, when Julie says triple eviction, that's what I read it as.
yeah.
But we know,
And it's a
Big
2-hour
Brother
time slot.
Big
So,
Brother's really been playing us this season. Julie really hyped us up on the noisy neighbor. She might really be hyping us up on this triple eviction. You know, who knows? I mean, Tyler could be the one that is being targeted, and CBS is like, pull the plug on that. Mm-mm, we can't do
not
that.
gonna happen. We're not losing Nicole. We're not losing Tyler. So, nope.
Mm, yeah. So, we don't have any evidence of either, but
Yeah, we're leaning towards it being 3 full things because it is a 2-hour time slot. So,
yeah, it's
um,
it's
yeah, Cajun reseller. We live on the state line, so we're gonna have some. I say me. I'm gonna have some loyalties to Texas, the Cowboys, the Rangers, and LSU because go Tigers.
Yeah, I don't have any loyalties to anything in Louisiana, so
Yeah,
don't care about them.
and
All
you're a
right.
loser.
Bye. Okay. All right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on Thursday, and we're super excited about. Um, as of right now, we have a guest booked Friday. So we're super excited to have a guest after the Thursday episode to talk about this, what we hope to be a true triple eviction. But we will talk a little bit about who is coming up as targets this week, and they don't know that a triple double eviction are coming. They kind of like are like, okay, it's almost time. Like
Yeah, they've
we
been
got to getting
thinking.
close.
They've been
Yeah,
thinking for like a month, like, okay, we've got to have a double eviction coming. And it never gets here. And it's coming. It's coming down the pipe, y'all. And you don't know it. A lot of you bitches are going home.
yeah. So before we get into who might be going home this week, I did want to talk really quickly about this quote from Enzo on the feeds last night, where he is talking to Kevin, and he says that he's tired of all the peacefulness, and he wants people to start making moves and showing their cards. And I'm
Yes.
just like, yes, Enzo, like that's what we all want. We're like screaming at our TVs. Make some
Yes.
moves. This is boring.
Yes. So please, Enzo, do something exciting. And he says this, but then he doesn't really want to win HOH or anything. And he tells, Cody like, "Hey, I hope Nicole wins HOH, yo, so that she'll take a shot at Christmas or Tyler." And, he wants everyone else to do it. He wants it to be exciting, but he doesn't want to be the one to make it exciting.
Yeah. Um Yeah, so and that's how they all are kind of. It's like
Yeah.
they're all who Memphis and Christmas. I mean
Yeah.
even Enzo and Christmas whenever Enzo was HOH, he even, a few weeks ago he was like, "Yeah, well on your HOH, when you're HOH, this is
Yeah.
what you should do." And
Yeah.
it's just and then Christmas does win HOH and she doesn't do it. So,
Right.
y'all, these house guests, they're something else. All right.
It's so annoying.
Moving into the targets for this week. So we know that David and Kevin are on the block. Nothing new there. Cody won Power Veto.
The
We'll
veto
talk.
ceremony will
Well,
happen today.
yeah.
He's
And so
most likely not going to use it.
yeah, normally we've talked about this before because the HOH has won the veto before. Um, and normally, I mean, didn't Memphis just do it last week? Did he
No,
win veto too? No. Oh,
no.
Tyler won, and
Tyler won it.
he was trying to, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, normally the HOH doesn't push for the veto to be used, unless there's a true backdoor plan. But no one's wanting to pull the plug on the committee this week, so probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But
We we
Tyler and
do get Kevin campaigning, and his campaign strategy is he is focusing on like, can you believe David took that 10 G's because that was so stupid of him. And everybody's like, yeah, that was stupid of him. Like, why did he do that? That makes me so mad. But nobody really cares enough that they're going to switch the target to David. They're mad at David, but it doesn't
y-
matter.
yeah, Tyler and Christmas have a conversation about this as well, and they're like, we definitely should keep David longer. David wants Danny and Nicole. I mean, Tyler wants Danny and Nicole gone before David, and they feel like they could use David as
Hmm.
ammo against the committee. And we saw this discussed on the episode, I think the Thursday episode, where Memphis was like, we should keep David against Davon because
Hmm.
when that time comes, we're going to need David as a number.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're definitely, David is managing not necessarily by his own design, but people are starting to set it up for David to be a little bit of a tool to them, which, this is what we've been saying for weeks, like use some of these outsiders to your advantage, but up until this point they've just been committee strong, but now they're realizing like, oh hey, we may need to slide David ahead of a couple committee members. And this is where I really feel like Danny and Nicole letting go of the people that they could have pulled in is really, really going to backfire on them, especially Danny. I think Danny's going to have the door slammed on her first out of all of these scenarios. So
Yeah. Definitely, it seems like the pecking order, and we've talked about this for a few weeks too. I'm sorry if everything we're saying sounds repetitive, guys. Like the things that are happening in the house are repetitive, but Danny's definitely at the bottom of the pecking order here. Um, then it's Nicole, of course, after her. So I don't know. Like, do you think that the committee would be able to convince? Like, let's say David won HOH, like this next HOH. What happens there?
I mean, I really think that he probably puts up Danny and Nicole. We
You
have
think so?
seen, yeah, we've seen him getting a little bit closer with Christmas the last couple weeks. His relationship with Tyler is kind of mending. Um, so, or possibly Memphis, because we know there's no love lost there. So,
Yeah.
I think
Maybe, I
between
mean,
those
he might
three,
put up Nicole and Memphis because he's just
yeah,
like, you know what? David
you
is the
lie
most
about it,
unpredictable house guest, so
which is good
it
because
is good.
we want unpredictable.
Yeah, we want as viewers, normally these unpredictable people in Survivor are like the first to go. Like once
Yeah,
they, if you throw a hanky vote on Survivor, like you're unpredictable, you're out. Bye.
yeah.
Big Brother, it's not so much like that, but thankfully for us, because otherwise, oh, if in this triple eviction we get to the point where it's like David and Kevin go, and then like I don't know Enzo, and it's just the committee, I well, our show's over. We
Yeah,
have nothing to talk about. We're gonna be
there's
giving
nothing
you the
coming.
same thing for the next 4 weeks.
Okay, so Cam K says, okay, ladies, I know it's unlikely, but if we get a Dr. Will HOH during this triple, who do you think his noms would be? I mean, like, this would be just, there are so many people that would absolutely lose their minds if this happened. And, probably for the integrity of the show, they should not. But yes, this would be so marvelous. So, who do you think? Who would
So
Dr. Will put up?
I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me correctly, that he has tweeted about Nicole's gameplay and that it's not terrible. So
Yeah.
I don't know that he would put up Nicole.
Yeah.
Um, I think, he respects a game player. I don't know. It's a hard because he's not in the house. So it's like
Yeah.
he's not actually playing against these people. So would he nominate based on you truly need to go home because you're a threat to the rest of this house guests, or I put you up because you suck?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
I
It
really
would just
don't know
depend
what
on
he would
his
do.
basis. Yeah.
I,
If it was based on like who's playing a good game, he would put up, Memphis, Cody, Enzo, Tyler, like those four, one of
what
combination.
what I wish could happen is that we could see Danny and Christmas on the block next to each other in a whole week. So, like, I had been hoping that Christmas would go out in this triple eviction, but I just kind of want somebody to put them on the block together because they despise each other so much. It would actually be a really fun week of campaigning where so far everyone that's been nominated together likes each other. So, like Janelle's not going to campaign against Kaser. Day's not going to campaign against Bailey. Like, put two people up that don't like each other and let's see some fireworks because these two girls are really things are coming to a head between them.
Yeah, and we did get some of this on the episode, what, Thursday, about Christmas and Danny.
Yeah.
Y'all, so I had to watch all these episodes back to back and feeds. So I'm sorry if like I'm questioning things a lot. My brain is in overdrive right now. Um, so yeah, we saw a little bit of the friction on the show and things. Yeah, that would just be a, split between the committee, but it seems that the committee would side more with Christmas.
I mean, I think it just really depends on who's in power. Like if it's Memphis making the nominations, which I don't think Memphis would put Christmas up, but just depending on who's the one that puts them up, I feel like we're really seeing it kind of split where we've got Cody, Danny, and Nicole on one side a little bit, and Tyler, Memphis, and Christmas on the other. And there's a little bit of crossover because we know Nicole doesn't completely trust Danny and Tyler doesn't completely trust Christmas. And so yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this triple eviction, but get back.
We're not there yet. We're
Yeah,
not
we're
there
not
yet.
there. We're not there yet. Well, if we run out of topics later this week, before we get to Thursday, we need to save some of this conversation so to keep you guys in suspense of our thoughts.
It'll change. It'll change between now and then. We'll have a lot of different thoughts about it.
So this week, Kevin, is he is he gonna stay? Is he gonna go? What's it looking like in the house?
He's sleeping. It's all
All right,
but
moving
sealed.
on.
Yeah. Okay, next topic. So this one's done. Yeah, I mean, Kevin is trying, y'all. He's campaigning. He does decide to, Danny advises him, like, hey, you should go talk to Cody and try to smooth things over. And he's like, okay, I can do that. So he does go up to Cody and say, like, hey, can we have a chat? They go up to the HOH room and he, kind of apologizes, and Cody apologizes back. And, um, whenever Twitter, of course, blows this conversation up way bigger than it was because, like, if you read everything on Twitter after this fight, you're like, you know what, Cody, you son of a bitch. Like, how dare you be so rude about Kevin? Which I love Kevin's comment of, the world doesn't revolve around you. But Kevin was kind of the one that came at Cody sideways. Like, we saw last night in the episode where he's like, I guess I'll go up and talk to Cody, but I really don't want to. Like, I don't like him. I'd rather stab myself in the eye. Like, so Kevin kind of went in there with a sideways attitude, which you can't blame him either because he's tired of being put on the block every week.
Yeah. I mean, if I were Kevin, I'm probably saying the same thing, to be completely honest. Like, these people are just making no moves in the house. They just keep putting Kevin up week after week. He's pawn, 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 pawn,
Yeah.
and it's boring. I
Yeah.
mean, and Kevin's tired of it. Like, can there be a week where he doesn't go on the
Yeah.
block?
Yeah. And so he's over it, but Yeah, so we get him apologizing to Cody, which when the other person's in power and you're the one on the block, you've got to eat some crow and you've got to be the one to go and apologize.
Yeah.
This is why I wouldn't be good at Big Brother because I'd be like, nope, hell no, I'm not going to talk to him.
Screw
Mm-mm.
you.
Screw you. I
Yeah.
said what I said. I meant it. I'm not taking it back.
So Kevin really did give it a valiant effort, but doesn't seem that he's swayed the votes this week. So it does look like David will be staying and Kevin will be going. So that's given. That power veto ceremony happens in a few hours, and they don't change the noms, which we don't expect them to. So um, if you came here just for that tidbit of information, there it is. Kevin is going home. David's staying. Power veto is not being used.
Yeah. And
Um,
this is what we're gonna bring y'all Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. This is what you're gonna hear from us for the next 3 days. Like I
but
feel
still
bad.
tune in. We might have. It might not be.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna make it
don't
interesting. Don't skip because we're
don't
gonna
skip.
talk about all kinds of other random crap that you definitely need to hear. So, but in terms of what's happening in the Big Brother house, don't expect anything new. But then again, y'all been tuning in for 7 or 8 weeks now, and nothing's changed. Like it
So y'all
sounds
are the real
exactly the same.
MVPs. Like, yeah, we have to watch these boring things, but y'all are the real MVPs for keeping up with us because, well, honestly, we're way more entertaining than the feeds. So y'all are welcome. I'm kidding. Love you guys. All right, moving on. Tyler and David are, we've kind of seen this like up and down. Tyler, do I work with David? What do I think of David? And
Is
it
David
looks,
gonna tell everybody what we're doing?
yeah. Um, and And it seems like Tyler does really want to work with David. Like that, it seems the vibe that we're getting from the feeds is that Tyler does really want to work with David. He's just not sure if he can completely trust him and what side of the house David is on.
Yeah.
So we
Um,
see Tyler and David talk about, Christmas being a squeaky wheel pretty much. She goes and she's the mole. She tells Memphis or whoever about conversations that they have. And and then, Christmas also gets tunnel vision when she has a plan. And so Tyler is just kind of talking to David about Christmas, and we'll see a real alliance or friendship blossom over a cup of eggnog at Christmas time.
yeah, so Christmas is just, I think she's a really intense person. I think she's really hard to live with. And Tyler is probably like, what did I get myself into making a final two with this girl? Because she's a lot. She's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Zingbot commented
Yeah.
on her, and how she is, and we got the DR from Tyler afterwards, like, "Hey, we still gotta live with this woman."
Yeah.
We definitely get the vibe from the other house guests, like the comments they make, that she would be a little bit difficult to live with. Um, I think even like on the episode last night that Danny said to Kevin, like, "Did you get the
Yeah.
cake? Or don't touch that cake because Christmas will kill you." And Kevin's like, "Oh, I'm not." And
Yeah.
it's just like,
And even
these little things.
yeah, and I thought you were also going to reference Christmas's reaction to Cody winning the HOH. Like, you're supposed to be in an alliance with Cody, and she was genuinely pissed that he won. And I mean, I think that they are right, and that she was more pissed that she didn't win. But like,
Yeah,
it's
it was a little off-putting.
the whole house against two people. I mean, why don't you just say, "Hey, good job, good for
Y
you"? But no, not Christmas. She's like,
Bitch.
this
W
son of a bitch. He took my HOH. Like I needed some bobby pins in my HOH basket.
I need Cody, can you please ask for bobby pins in your HOH basket? That's the only reason I was pissed.
Yeah.
That's what she should play. That's the card she should play. I
Mhm.
wasn't mad at you. I was just mad I wasn't gonna get bobby pins.
Right. She's she's a mess.
A whole mess. Also, was it on last night's episode that Nicole walked in the bathroom on Enzo?
Yeah. David was like, somebody's in there. And she's like, doo doo doo.
She's like, "Oh,
And just,
yeah? Knock, knock, knock."
don't believe you.
Going in anyway. That was
Yeah,
so funny, though, and then
yeah,
David's
that was
like, "Bro, I'm sitting here waiting. You think I'm just sitting here by myself? Like, I'm sitting
yeah.
here waiting to go to the restroom." That was
Uh,
funny. At
yeah,
least
that
it
was
wasn't
funny.
another Cody, Danny montage.
Yeah, of them scaring each other. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let's see.
Um, we can move into the comments. We have one more section to talk about, and then we'll pop up
Yeah,
you
y'all
guys'
give us
comments.
lots of
So
comments for us to talk about.
yeah, so we're gonna move into the comments after this section in our
Last
tweet of the day.
segment.
So the next move. So we get a lot. Most of the talk in on the feeds is about next moves because they've already got this move ironed out. Kevin's gonna
Yeah,
go.
I mean,
Uh,
it's just a matter of time. We just have to get to Thursday, and I mean, they've already like, okay, he's out of the house. He's not a factor. Just moving on.
Yeah, so we see, four different conversations or three different conversations happening with upcoming moves. And sorry, the first one we see is Cody and Enzo, and Cody says that they need to get out Christmas next. So and and then Enzo says that he hopes Nicole goes after Memphis. I wish we just had a little diagram here, like if we really would have
Yeah,
planned ahead.
yeah.
SOS, we need an assistant, like, to do these things for us. But anyways, if we had a little diagram here, so
But I'm a little curious. So, I mean, I feel like Enzo's in a really, really good spot with everybody. And he does have these two final three deals with with Memphis. So I'm a little curious as to why he's got Memphis so up high on the list of like, hey, yo, Christmas, Memphis, those two can go, yo. So I'm
yeah.
like,
And then
oh,
Nicole
Memphis.
going after her, like, after Memphis.
I think the way that he said it was like, I want Nicole to win HOH so that she will target Memphis,
Oh, okay.
not necessarily she
Like
will
in
go
order.
after him. Right, right. So
That makes sense. I was
yeah,
like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
she
Why would he
wants
say that?
he wants Christmas and Memphis, kind of those first two out the door. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think this is a little bit of a misstep by Enzo. I mean, he needs to get out Danny, Nicole. I mean, he's good with all the bros, and he needs to just ride that out because they're all willing to take him.
yeah. Um, but he's also good with Christmas, he has it's interesting that
But
Cody and
they're a little
Enzo are
shady.
having
They're a little shady on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, and Cody talks like he's like, maybe we should tell Christmas that Danny was wanting to backdoor her."
Yeah.
Um,
Just to
which
put those two a little more at odds with each other.
yeah. And I mean, that might work. I don't know. But so Cody and Enzo talk about Christmas going. They talk about Memphis going.
Hmm.
And Enzo may want to get Memphis out of the way because Memphis may be able to beat him. But I agree that I don't think that's the right move right now for
Yeah.
Enzo.
Yeah. Um, Memphis has a conversation with Christmas, and he's like, maybe we should get rid of David. And Christmas is like, no, we are not getting rid of David. Like, just let this go. And he's like, okay, you're right. We got to get rid of Kevin first. And he's like, but the committee, we got to stay strong. But if that opportunity presents itself, maybe we should jump on it.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So and then we see another conversation with Memphis where he's warning Cody that Christmas thinks that Cody will put her up, and Memphis is like, "Look, bro, I tried to, let her know that's not the plan at all." And I haven't heard anything like that. Um,
He's like,
but
but
just letting you know.
maybe I'll tell her that if the veto would have been used, that I would have nominated Enzo, so it'll get her to calm down.
Yeah.
And he does tell this to Enzo, and Enzo's like, "Oh yeah, bro, okay." Memphis, I mean, one of the things Enzo does really well is that he very rarely disagrees with people. And so he does say like, "Hey, I may tell Christmas this just to get her to calm down." And surprisingly, Enzo's like, "Okay, bro, you do what you got to do."
Yeah. Which I mean, it works for him.
Yeah.
Makes people want to work with him.
Yeah, he's a yes man, which is a good thing to
Yes,
be.
it can get you far. Got Tyler all the way to end in his season
Yeah.
till he just didn't own up to it and then didn't win. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We don't have to go there. All right, so that's kind of everything that's happened on the feeds today. So just a quick recap. David's going to stay. Kevin's going to go. POV will not be used, and next the committee seems to be breaking up um, after this week because they
Which
only
there's
have
basically no choice but to.
right unless they put David and Enzo up, which they don't want to do that because of the numbers. So
Right.
it's like pretty much who's going to take a target, who's going to take a shot at who first.
Yeah,
Now,
whoever wins that HOH in the triple is really going to set the tone for that next eviction and then the upcoming week. And so it's kind of which side wins.
yeah,
Danny really needs to win or Danny's really screwed.
yeah. And so okay, before we get to comments, I'm like over here reading them. Before we get to
Yeah.
comments, let's do our tweet of the day before I forget.
Yeah.
So let's pop this up on the screen here. Tweet of the day comes from our girl Janelle.
Yeah, and y'all, I said this yesterday, and then I hopped on Twitter and I saw Janelle tweeting this out, and I was like, same. Same, Janelle. This is literally exactly what I said yesterday. Christmas is a moron for saying they should do whatever Cody wants because it's his HOH week. So boring.
It is
Y'all.
so boring. They do this every freaking week too. It's so
Yeah,
freaking
y'all have the
boring.
votes. You vote out who you want to vote out. It does not matter what Cody wants. He's the HOH, but you've got the votes. So, Christmas, get out of this mindset of what the HOH wants. Please vote the HOH way. No, vote how you want to vote. Don't be
She
a moron.
it's like every week she like this is her advocate. Like this is what she's like, "Well, someone will be like, "So who are we going after this week?" "Well, who does Memphis want to go after?" Or "Who are they targeting?" And it's just the Christmas if whenever CBS is like interviewing people to come on the house, if this is their like strategy, they need to be nixed out.
Yeah,
Bye.
nope,
And this is just
sorry.
another reason that Christmas is not a good game player. Sorry for all the
And
Christmas
she
lovers out
sucks,
there.
Russell.
Yeah, so Russell is in the chat. And so Russell, we know you're hearing us, but sorry, Christmas is just not a game player. Like she might be pretty to look at. Again, I don't understand that either, but she's just not a good game player at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
shout out Janelle,
Yep.
always
We
coming
wish
at
you
us
were
with a good
there.
tweet.
We wish you were there instead.
Why
If
can't there
only.
be okay, also so I guess, like, I just watched the Thursday episode no, it was the Sunday episode because of the HOH, and there was the, um, replay Power got played, and these house guests, I think they were in pure panic mode, the ones that didn't know about the power,
Yeah.
and were like, "Replay?" Because this happened, like,
Yes. Why?
right
Why
after
couldn't?
the eviction.
Why couldn't they have done it as a reset? Like, oh,
Yes!
hey, we're
Rewind.
gonna change it.
Doo-doo-doo.
We're gonna
Yeah.
change it, redo everything. So
Yeah, like, I don't know
whatever.
who would actually use that power, but, like, if Davon had that power, for example,
Yeah,
and,
that would
like,
have been
before the
marvelous.
eviction, if she could have said, "I wanna do a replay no matter what the result is, I'm on the block, I wanna do a replay," that would've been so good. So
Yeah,
good.
but womp
Anyways,
womp.
Christmas sucks. That's all. Bye, guys. No.
Peace out.
The
All
end.
right, so let's look at some comments.
You're gonna start at the bottom, I'm gonna start at the top?
Uh, okay, sure.
Or okay.
Um,
Mm. Sorry, I'm trying to
so,
get to the early
okay,
ones.
Dawn says Christmas does that so she can strong arm them to vote her way when she's HOH. This is where we've talked about Christmas being really a one dimensional player in that she only knows how to play how she played on her original season with Paul. And that is you do not go against what the HOH wants. votes. So the HOH, they're the head of the house. They decide who the nominees are, and they decide who the target is. I mean, it's just miserable. It's miserable.
It is miserable. The Paul season was so boring. I don't know if she went back and watched her season, but I mean, she had to look at social media and know how much hate that season got.
Yeah, we don't want you to do that again.
No, why are you encouraging this?
Yes, and
And
she's got too much of a mentality too of this actually being like a team. Like, you know, she's like she's playing little league and this is our team
the
and we
whole
have
team
to
is going to go to the
win.
championship, right?
Yeah, we got to win the ship. We're going to split the 500K 6 ways. And like no, we don't have to do everything as a team. You're an individual. This is an individual game, not a team game. So have a mind of your own. You suck.
Yeah. Ed
You
says Danny
moron.
is kind of unaware of her spot on the totem pole.
Yeah.
She's
She's
completely unaware.
she's completely unaware and she's in a really really bad spot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think she feels like Christmas is below her,
Yeah, and I
but
mean, like I said, kind of depending on whose power in power Christmas might be, but Danny's also in a lot of people's sights because of her sketchiness.
yeah. Yeah. So, meh, Danny, you're at the bottom. There'll probably be a wall yeller at some point that says this, so we don't even have to put it out in the universe. But she is at the bottom. Um, and she will definitely will more if she doesn't win HOH, um, then we'll probably see her go on the block in this triple eviction. I would say the
Yeah.
chances are very high of her
Yeah,
going on
like
the
I
block.
would put Danny very, very high up in the likelihood of being evicted. So,
Yeah. I mean, pretty much it's like I'm just thinking of the house guest. Like if Tyler wins one of the HOHs, Danny's gonna go up. Um, if I mean, she put him up as a pawn, but was really the
yeah,
target. He can just say, "I'm just, you did this to me. I didn't have anyone else putting you up. Whatever." Um, and then, I mean, like really anybody goes up. Cody might not put her up. I don't, but he
yeah,
can't win this
I
second
don't think Cody
HOH.
would. Yeah, and that Cajun reseller asked, can Cody play HOH? So he will not be eligible to play in the first HOH.
Well, he is the first HOH.
Right. So
The
the
second,
next one in the episode he will not be playing in, and then
he can
you
play in
know,
the next one.
assuming that they do two evictions, how we're planning for them to do. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of be bummed, really, though, if like, three people
Yeah.
can go on the block, they say we're gonna keep one person, like we want to vote this is who we want to keep. Um, just to talk about that a little more. That would be because
Such a
that
letdown.
that just feeds more to the power of the house. Like this block style house we're seeing.
Yeah. No, please don't do that. Like it'll be such a scapegoat. Like unless David wins HOH, he would be one of the ones leaving. I mean, yes, they would have to turn on one of their other people, but David would be guaranteed one of the people walking out the door because they would panic and put him up and be like, okay, well, let's take him out and then whoever.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I hope CBS doesn't do that to us this week.
Yeah, we will see.
Okay. Let me go down the comments here.
Ed says, do the house guests know about Christmas's driving habits? So I have not seen anyone mention.
It was probably mentioned that whole day that the fees were down. That's all they
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah, I don't see anybody mention that she's a crazy person, but they may know. I would think so.
Yeah. I'm sure. Surely. Surely they know they're in a house with a misdemeanor felon.
Yeah. Chris misdemeanor. Aiden from Your Lips to God's Ears. David is winning one HOH and one veto on Thursday. You heard it here first. So, like, we can only hope because it will be the craziest one if he does win. And Russell asked too, who does David put up? So we hit on this a little bit earlier, but I really think that Memphis would be in trouble. Danny, Nicole, they would be in trouble. Probably one of those three goes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a combination of those 3. I mean, maybe even Christmas just because he's a little crazy, I don't know, like, he just not
Yeah, I
crazy,
mean,
he's unpredictable.
I feel like that relationship between them's forming pretty well. So I don't see Christmas.
I
Yeah,
think he's
Danny,
faking it.
Nicole.
I think he's faking it.
I hope not because he needs some allies. So anybody that's willing to extend the olive branch, he needs to grab onto
Take
it.
them on for dear life.
Yeah,
Instead
hang
of
on,
floaters, grab your
cling.
life vest. David, grab the
The
olive
olive
branch.
branch. Love that.
Get out of that water.
Yeah. So, okay, one thing that Russell says up here is what Evil Dick said. So, we're going to talk about this for just a minute. So, we don't like to talk about other shows on here,
Spilling the hot tea today, y'all.
but here it comes, y'all. Here's the hot tea. So, one other person, we're not going to call him out by name, that does a daily recap show said that there's absolutely no truth to the fact that the committee's alliance was a pregame alliance. Like, we saw it form all natural on the feeds, and y'all, that's bullshit. So, we're just here to tell you. And Evil Dick tweeted out and just said, nope, you're wrong. You're an idiot. And so we're here to tell y'all that while they may not have come into the house as like, hey, we're a group of 6 and us 6 are going to stick together, we
yeah,
know for a fact that Derek pre-gamed for Cody. Multiple people have talked about how Derek encouraged them to follow Cody on Instagram. Bailey says how Derek called them and was like, well, hey, I'm not going to be there, but someone I know is going to be there. We know for a fact that this was set up. Cody and Memphis had. Cody says that he never saw Memphis' season, but then he talks about how loyal Memphis was, and he's a ride or die type of person, and how similar him and Memphis played, like Memphis being loyal to Dan, him being loyal to Derek, and they hit the ground running like they were best friends. And we know that Tyler and Christmas had planned to be in a 4-person alliance with Josh and Casey, people that they worked closely with on their original seasons, but those two are
didn't
obviously
make
not
it in.
on because of COVID. So we know that Christmas and Tyler had this pre-existing relationship. So y'all, that's some bullshit. Like, we're here to tell you that this was not an organic relationship that formed on the show.
Yeah, and I don't know. I have not listened to the context, so I'm just commenting. So I want to give you preface this with that. Um, that it's possible that maybe it was meant to say that like the committee itself like wasn't in a group text like you said like this,
Yeah.
well, hey, we're the 6, we're going to run this house. Maybe that's not what happened. Yes, it doesn't sound like that's what happened, but every piece of the committee at one point was pre-gaming.
Yeah. And I mean, I think most people probably pre-gamed some. And so that's not saying like only this 6 people pre-gamed, but here it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, pre-gaming definitely impacted a lot of what's happening in this house
Yeah,
and what we're seeing.
but to make the claim that this was just a completely organic 6 that came
Yeah.
together is really asinine. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Memphis pull these people together,
yeah, like
but it was based on conversations he was having with other people. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't like, I like you, you, and you. We're gonna work
right.
together. That's not
Right.
how that happened.
Right. And some of that I don't think you can expect to see whenever it is all returners coming back. But yeah, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Cam K says the way that regarding the episode, the way that Christmas passive aggressively expressed her dislike of David's money move to David irked me. If it was me in David's shoes, I'd flip out on Christmas for the condescending passive aggressiveness.
That is like Christmas to a T. Super passive aggressive. And I mean, like we talked about it yesterday, as a competitor, you would hope that David would try to win the veto and, get a little bit of power in the game. But as a human being that has a 187 IQ and can see the writing on the wall, take the money, bro, because you are not going to win the 500,000. They're not going to let you get there. You're probably going to go up on the block until you get evicted. So, yeah, take the
Yeah,
money and don't even worry about it. So
and
screw them.
honestly, my thought on Christmas is like she makes these claims like regularly. Like I made it to final 3, da 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 da, and I'm just like, you didn't make it to final 3. Like you were carried to final 3. And not because of anything in particular, but because you were injured.
Yeah,
And it really bothers me as a fan of this game for that to have happened. I mean, well, obviously we didn't have this show then, but me and Kylie still talked then, and it was when this happened and Christmas got injured and she went to the hospital, cast her vote from the hospital. Sorry, I'm yellow. Cast her vote from the hospital and came back to the house. We were pissed, like as fans of this game.
yeah. I was only a little pissed because she was on my team that year, but so I wasn't completely pissed.
I think you even won that year.
Yeah, I did win. So yeah,
Anyway,
not completely pissed, but
Anyway, she shouldn't have been allowed to
should
come back in
not
the
have been
house, in
allowed.
my
Yeah,
opinion, as a part of the game. And so it just frustrates me when she thinks she's like this almighty player. It's kind of the vibe she gives off,
yeah,
and she's not. Like even now,
yeah,
she isn't playing a good game. Come at me, Christmas haters. Like I see y'all out there. Think people think that I mean Christmas lovers that think Christmas is this great game player. Prove me
yeah.
wrong, please. Like tell me how she's playing a great game because I do not see it. I
Right,
don't see it.
right, exactly. So, yeah, she's super condescending, and honestly, David probably made the right decision going for the money because,
I agree. I mean, he needs to take something out of this house.
right, exactly. So go for it.
I mean, it's annoying again as a fan of this game for someone who's on the block going for the money. But I digress.
Yeah. So Lisa's bringing us the hot take. I'm not usually a fan of bro alliances, but at this point, I'd like to see the three remaining women go out and then watch the guys fight it out. And I mean, the guys have definitely driven the season. So, yeah, at this point in time, I don't really want to see a woman win. I mean, maybe the only woman that I'm interested in staying is Danny, and that's because she's so messy. Like, at least she's keeping it interesting. But yeah, her days are numbered.
Yeah, I agree, Kylie. Like I'm just reset this whole cast. It's hard for me to even comment on these people. Thanks, Aiden. Don't know if anyone's did this yet, but you two are looking fabulous. Keep it up. Me and Kylie before we came on were like, we look so ratchet today. Wonder if we'll get any comments. So thanks. Thanks, guys. Really tired after this weekend. So Kylie was pulling a lot of extra work while I was out, and I was pulling a lot of mom duties while I was out, and we're just tired today. So thanks. This
Yep.
meant a lot today. Aaron, following that with hello, ladies, looking great today. Also, love your mug. Thanks, Tarte. If you want to sponsor me, I am drinking out of a Tarte mug, which is a makeup product. And it has a sweet little message on it. It says, make today beautiful. So,
Mm,
spilling the tea
perfect.
out of a motivational mug today.
Russell, if you're still in the chat, here you go. Um, if Russell wins the veto, he's back during Christmas. And Russell responds with, shit, Ed, I'm back during Christmas as soon as I can. Oh, no.
Get out of here. Get out of here, both of you.
Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about, okay, the mole man says, she's not great, referring to Christmas. She's okay and in the right alliance. She's got the Wise Guys, Volume 2, but we know that Enzo ratted out to Cody that this
There's another.
that there's two wise guys, the committee and the Carolinas. And, I feel like what Tyler pulled on her HOH week has really shook this duo, like they're not on the same page quite as much as they were. So she's not in the worst position, but she's definitely not in the best position. And I don't like her. I don't like her as a game player. I'm sure she's a wonderful person when she's not running people over with her car.
Yeah, I don't even know about that, but okay.
I'm sure she's super nice.
Mhm. Yep. Okay, the real VB says, when you have time, share some of the Lum tweets we may not have seen. I like hearing about those. Yeah, I expect that we're again going to run out of things to talk about this week because it's a repeat of every week, especially after Power Veto happens today. If no interesting conversations are happening, and good tweets are coming, we'll definitely pop those up. But definitely recommend that everyone go follow us on Twitter at reality_TRHS because we retweet all of the good tweets. So if you want to follow us, me and Kylie also have our personal Twitter accounts. You can follow us there. But if you go to reality_TRHS, you can go from there. But we definitely tweet those out on Twitter so you don't have to follow all of these people. You can just follow us and we'll give you all the good content that's out there, like a one stopper.
Yeah. I love this comment. Does Cody and David have a final two deal, and would they call them COVID? Ugh, just let COVID ruin this season like it's ruined all of 2020.
I could call it, like, instead of COVID-19, they could call it COVID
COVID
22.
22.
Yeah. Even though
Um,
don't have numbers in your alliance.
yeah. The mole man says, who's coming after her besides Danny? So we definitely see that Cody and Enzo are both kind of on the let's get Christmas out train. And I think Nicole's easily pulled into that. So I feel like about half the committee's coming after her. So she's not in the best position. She's not in the worst. I think Danny, Christmas, and then you've got like this middle section of Tyler and Nicole, and then Memphis and Cody at the top.
Yeah.
But Cody at the very top.
Memphis is at the very top.
But whatever, we digress. We disagree. It's just what it is.
No, now Enzo is not technically in the committee, but Enzo telling Cody about the wise guys and there
Yeah.
being two of them and they have the same name,
Hmm.
definitely is telling to where Enzo's loyalty lies.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, there was another comment about that I was going to pop up. I scrolled down really hard.
Oh yeah.
I went all the way down to the bottom. Um, shit. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't know where it is. But anyways,
Anyways.
Dawn,
Anyway.
I don't know what part you said this comment, but yes, it's exactly what I was trying to get across earlier. Christmas's ego cannot let her understand that she's not a winner. She
Yeah.
definitely like feels like she took herself all the way to final 3 when she didn't. Her scooter took her to final 3. And it's a problem.
Yeah. Yep. She definitely overestimates herself a little bit.
I mean, and
The
again, like I said, come at me with why she's playing a good game. Like, I want to hear it because I don't see it.
Okay, so Russell wants to know who puts up Cody. Nobody. I
Nobody.
don't see anybody. I would say Cody is the safest going into the triple eviction.
Yeah, he's definitely the safest. Unless someone's like, we can't win against him, he can't play in this HOH. Let's take a shot at him. I mean, unless someone gets a wild hair like that, but no one is talking about Cody.
Yeah, Cody
And
is in a phenomenal position.
nobody's talking about Enzo. Like,
Yeah.
those
Yeah, I
two
would I
are
would be
not.
surprised if either one of those two left in the triple.
And it's so crazy
Everybody
because they're
else,
working together. Like,
right.
those two are working together and no one's
Yeah.
talking about it and, like, no one sees it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean David might would be the most likely. I mean, if Kevin stayed, Kevin would probably put him up, but we know Kevin's not staying. So, Yeah, possibly David, but yeah, I just really don't see a lot of it.
So, all right, guys. Well, we are at the top of the hour. Thanks everyone who joined us live today. We appreciate your comments and commentary as always. It's always great. We need to know when we look okay and when we don't because our husbands are trolls. Um, but also because we don't have a lot to talk about and because everything is the same happening every day. So we appreciate you guys interacting with us. Thanks for joining us live. If you are watching us afterwards, be sure to drop us a comment on your thoughts of the episode and everything going on in the feeds. And yeah, so don't forget that tonight, guys, it's finally here. We will have the live challenge draft where me, Kylie, and do we have 3 guests or 2?
Yeah. Laren, that y'all saw yesterday, Lauren, who fills in for Trisha a lot when she's out, and our friend Alex.
Yeah, who is normally in the comments as well. So you guys will know him once you see him. So yeah, we have 3 guests joining us tonight. We will be doing a snake type draft of the challenge players tonight at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Really looking forward to that. I can't wait for the conversations and dialogue about these players. You guys heard me
Yeah.
and Kylie talk about it. But it's going to be fun when we have a little competition of picking out these players. So, really excited for that. Y'all be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you get a notification whenever we go live tonight. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up on our video to outweigh those haters who are giving us the thumbs down. No, but seriously, if you are a thumbs downer and you think our show sucks, let us know why. I mean, we can only get better. The largest room in the world is the room for improvement. And that's my motivational quote for today.
Girl, put that on a coffee mug.
All right, guys. We will see y'all tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, but please join us tonight for our live challenge draft at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And until next time, spilling more tea. Y'all have a great day. Cheers,
Cheers.
Kylie.